Okay, so hopefully y'all can hear me. I have this like lavalier mic on and it seems like I'm coming through pretty loud. I'm trying to figure out how to turn that down, so I'm still working on that. But in this video, I wanted to discuss how I got into IT, the path that I took into tech, why I chose tech, and some of the pros and cons I think that I'm realizing of working in technology. So this video comes in response to, I get a lot of comments saying, I heard you were in tech. How did you do that? What do you do? Like people ask, like, what do you do for work? What do you do every day? And we're going to get into that today. And if you're interested in technology, if you're interested in making a career change, either in the cybersecurity, I'm a project manager, or what they call an engagement manager. If you're interested in getting into tech, whether you want to be a software developer, this video might be good for you to listen to. Before we begin, make sure you like and subscribe. Stay tuned to all of my videos that come out. We discuss a lot of pretty interesting topics and things that just come to mind. Okay, so before we jump into how I got into tech, I think it's important to really come up with the assumption of why you want to get into tech. Like besides, like some people's motivation, it's just the money. It's the money aspect. Tech can be a lucrative field depending on what you do inside of it. And I got my coffee with me this morning, so you're gonna have to excuse me because I'm not gonna let this get cold. That's good. So a lot of people get into tech because it's like, oh, the money's there. It's a rapidly growing field. And that was really a consideration I took into choosing technology, but it wasn't the overall reason why I chose technology. So let me give you some background. I worked in the military on attack helicopters. I worked on avionic systems, which is the electrical systems of attack helicopters. I also put ammunition, like 50 caliber machine gun, 2.75 inch rockets, and big Hellfire missiles on helicopters. And I'm a tinkerer by nature, and it's very important to understand your nature. Are you a technical by nature? Do you like numbers by nature? Are you a wordsmith by nature? Me, I'm a tinkerer. I like to take things apart. I like to see how things work. If things break, I'm curious to see why. So I've always been a tinkerer, mostly on the mechanical side of things. So I did that for 7 years. At the end of my career, unfortunately, I got hurt and could no longer do my job. So that kind of opened up an avenue to where I was like, wow, I thought I was going to work on helicopters. I wanted to go to school to work on aircraft and just be an aircraft, something in management of aircraft, go to college for that. But after I got hurt, I no longer had the motivation to, drag my toolkit, 50-pound, 100-pound toolkit to an aircraft and work on it bent over. Sometimes you're in different things. And I know that I was going to be going to school for management, but I was turned off by that idea because I was in such pain I was in such pain in the military from having this lower back injury that I was just kind of turned off from it. So I said, it made me feel that my body is finite, the resources within that. So I have to do something with my mind. I have to do something, gain a career in which I use my mind, my mental capabilities. Okay, so I get out of the military. The military gives you the GI Bill, which is great. Anybody who's struck, that's one of the reasons why I went to the Army. If you don't know, I was very poor and I could not afford college. I couldn't afford to even have my own place. People were like, oh, you could have took out a loan. I didn't even have enough wherewithal to have my own living situation while I was in school, which a lot of people in the Bay Area, they live in their cars when they go to school, which is crazy, right? But I'm digressing a little bit. So got out, had a GI Bill, if you're not familiar with the GI Bill, is they will pay for your college and they will pay you to go to college. So they pay for your college, and so if you want to get into Harvard, if you want to get into, whatever school you can get into, they're going to pay for most of these schools. Sometimes they don't. The recording just went off, so I don't know how much of it you just missed. But sometimes the GI Bill won't pay for these schools if the school is too expensive. But you can get like yellow ribbon and things to cover that. But I was like, okay, let's go to school. I originally wanted to go to school for business because that's what I'm most interested in. I'm interested in how business is all around us. Business is universal. There's businesses, everything that you come in contact with in the economy, of course, is a business of some nature. When you work, if you don't work for somebody, if you don't start your own business, you're going to be working in a business. So to me, I thought business was like a universal language. It's a universal study that you can learn, right? Cool. Tech wasn't even on the radar when I went to school, when I was younger, when I started I started in community college. And tech wasn't even on the radar. It was, for me, it was finance, because I was really into personal finance and how, money to me is like the oil, it's like the lifeblood of the economy, right? So learning about money was a pivotal, not only to my personal finances, because once you get control of your personal finances, your whole life can change, right? But imagine this on a macro level, on the how money flows throughout the entire economy. So that excited me. So I was like, hey, I want to go to school for finance. I want to do finance. I want to learn about money. I want to learn how to manage money, my own money, and money for businesses, right? And I went through my community college, got my AA, started associate in science with a focus in business administration, right? And then I started, when it came time to go to my undergrad, they separate all of the students. Like, okay, your computer science students are going to go over here. Your finance students are going to go over here. And I started looking at the classes, and this is a little late, but I started looking at the classes that a finance student would take, and they were not interesting at all to me. They were not interesting. So I started doing a lot of research into finance and really what you would do and stuff like that. And to me, there didn't seem to be a lot of creativity in the market of finance, in the field of finance. And it just seemed boring. And then I had to second guess myself, like, is this really what I want to do? Most people switch their majors in college, at least once. So this was me just getting into my undergrad. So it was okay. But then I was like, what do I want to do? So I was like, maybe computer science. So I thought about computer science. I took a computer science course while I was still kind of deciding within my first semester of my undergrad. I was still kind of deciding what I wanted to do. And I took a computer science course and I didn't like it. I didn't like computer science. It was very in the weeds, very technical. And some people like that. They want to figure out the language and the mathematics behind binary and how this works. And, some people dive into that. But to me, I felt like I wasn't learning about the business. I was learning about, the technology and not how to apply that technology for a business outcome to drive profit and revenue. And I felt like I was kind of detached, like from the overall, like if the business is the body, computer science and technology is a very small organ within that drives that, you know what I mean? Versus business being the whole body. So I wanted to focus on the whole body, which was business. But I didn't want something just generic like business administration or just management, because I feel like management, it's not easy to get a management degree, but management is not very specialized. People can become managers. Like you can go to school for business or another field and just become a manager through experience. So I wanted something that can kind of focus in different things and actually focus in my ability to want to tinker with things. And I like technology. So I found this field called information systems. And if you don't know, information systems is like a mixture between business administration and computer science. So basically you're learning how to administrate technology in a business field, in a business manner. And you would ask yourself, well, why would you want this over computer science? Well, if you're not as I don't know why my camera keeps shutting off, but I hope it's not messed up this video too bad. But if you're not as geared into the technical realm of things, like if sitting in front of a computer for hours debugging code makes you want to scratch your eyeballs out, then you might not really want to go down the technical aspect of, you know, computer science and things of that nature. But if you like the idea of that, if you like the overall body of technology, like applying applicable technology to business problems, and you want to solve larger business problems with technology, then I think you should consider either information systems, or I think they call it informatics in a lot of other places, but it's basically a mix between business and computer science. So you'll take business courses, you'll take accounting, you'll take finance, you'll take business writing, you'll take a lot of business courses, but you'll also take computer science courses, like you'll take networking, you'll take database courses, you'll take different kind of like introduction IT level 1 courses and IT level 2 courses. The key is that if you can dibble and dabble into what you want to do in tech. So for me, I didn't like programming. Like I've taken like maybe 3 or 4 programming classes on different languages, and I just did that so I could be aware. But every time I took a programming class, I just did not have a good time. It was extremely stressful. It was extremely, like, the work was kind of boring to me. Not saying anybody, I see why, but like when your program works, it's really rewarding. It's building something that actually works, that solves a problem, is really rewarding. So I see why people do it, but the process is so tedious. So to me, so I've taken those classes, and I just really took them because I wanted to be, I wanted to know the basics. Like, I wanted to know the basis of SQL and Python and C# and, you know, these languages. So I've taken these classes, and I think that it was a good path for me. At the time, I did not know what I wanted to do in tech. I didn't know if I wanted to do a cybersecurity route. I didn't know if I wanted to do, I thought about being a programmer, but I was like, no, I don't want to do that for a living. So I was leaning towards a business analyst, somebody who can go in and find problems and solve problems and write reports based on them. Then I looked into compliance, which can be a boring field as well, but making sure that companies are doing what they say they're going to do and their technology functions in a way that is prescribed and documented, which is like a very tedious field. It's like a very I'm not going to say super technical, but it's like very, there's a lot of documentation. There's a lot of crossing your T's and dotting your I's. So a lot of minute things you have to pay attention to within that, which kind of aligned with my personality, right? I'm a planner by nature. I'm a detailed oriented person. By nature, I like getting into details of things and connecting and planning and tweaking and fixing things. So I was like, yeah, let's do that. So I went to San Francisco State, got my undergrad in information systems, right? Graduated. I was applying for jobs that were business analyst type jobs in the tech field. That's what I wanted to do. But in my last semester of school, I was taking decision sciences. And in decision sciences, it's like a mix between, if I had to describe it, a mix between mathematics and like logistics of some nature. It was pretty cool. But my decision science teacher was like, you know, she was looking at my notes one day, and I take very detailed notes, especially for mathematics, because it's not really my strong suit. So I feel like I got to take a lot of notes. But she said, have you ever thought about getting your MBA? And this is the first time anybody has ever mentioned MBA to me in school, right? I was just like, nope, 4 years, I'm out of there, you know? But she said, have you ever thought about, you know, going to school for your master's degree in business? And I was like, well, really, what would that do for me? And she was like, you know, coming out of college, you can demand a lot higher of a salary if you have an MBA. MBAs, their earning potential is higher over the course of their working career, right? So in my mind, I'm like, she's just talking, whatever. I don't really want to do that. I just want to get out and go to work. Lo and behold, it's 2020. I was ready to graduate I was going to get ready to graduate at the end of 2020, right? And COVID rolls around. COVID hits. Boom. I'm in my second to last semester when COVID hits. All the classes go online. I was going to school in person. All the classes go online. A lot of people start losing their jobs. A lot of people start working remotely. The whole economic landscape of the United States of America and the world starts to change, right? So I was like, something had happened. Like, I don't want to say COVID happened for a reason, but in my life, it definitely had a purpose. So I was like, wow, the job market, who knows what the job market's going to look like by the time I get out. So I went back to the military and said, hey, I think I need an MBA for this. They denied me, of course, because I wanted them to pay for my MBA. And then it was a stroke of luck that I got a different caseworker on my case. And, I was reporting my grades and I was doing extremely well in my undergrad. I was, 3.8, almost all A's. I had one B and it was in programming. And, she was like, you're doing really well. Have you ever, would you like to pursue your MBA to be better situated in this COVID landscape? And I jumped at the opportunity to do an MBA. At first, I wanted to do management and information systems, but the school that I was in didn't offer that. Honestly, they didn't offer it. And there was another school that did offer it. But the benefits of staying at the same school, like you can graduate faster, you can, they have executive MBA programs, which if you don't know, an executive MBA program is when, this is what I went through, my back itches. An executive MBA program is when you can leverage your work experience to get in without having to take all of the prerequisites that are required to go to MBA, to go to a business school. So I did that. I leveraged my 7 years of military service, was able to, I took a writing test, I think a basic test, like a couple other tests, and this got in and began working towards my MBA. Now, this is not all said and done to where it's okay, what's an MBA? Why an MBA? So an MBA just makes you more fluent, makes you more knowledgeable in business management and high level stuff, where it's like you're learning finance, you're learning advanced accounting, you're learning how to write, you're learning how to put presentations together, you're learning how to communicate ideas. More or less, you're training to be in the C-suite versus at other layers of the company. So I didn't leave it there. I still wanted to pursue information technology. I still wanted to, because I have an undergrad in information systems. So I started taking all of the information systems classes that didn't have to do with programming. I ended up taking a programming class too, which is a whole nother, this video of programming at the graduate level deserves a whole nother video. But I took a lot of information systems classes that consisted of network admin classes, database classes. I took a marketing class that was called Marketing High Technology Products, which was really cool. It's like how to market things of like the iPhone or things of that nature, and how to position those technology things in the market. At this point, still didn't know what I wanted to do in tech. Still didn't know. So I'm in my MBA now, and I'm like, dang, I feel like the MBA bought me more time because, it kept the money coming in because I'm getting paid to go to school. I'm getting paid. My school's getting paid. Like I said, join the military, right? I didn't take on a lot of debt going to school. So I'm like, dang, what am I going to do? So I started doing internships. In my my first semester in my master's degree, I did an internship where I was a product manager, but it was for an IT startup. And I didn't really like it because working for a startup, because it was really run and gun. I like structure, a little bit more structure in my business and in my company that I work for. And IT, I was working directly under the CEO, which was good experience. But I was working directly under the CEO, and it was kind of like, what am I going to do today? What am I going to do today? I didn't really have a structured outcomes that I was trying to meet. So I did that for a while, realized that, okay, tech startup, maybe not for me. Unless I get a lot of investment, unless I can invest in the company unless I can invest in a company and then run it up with the company and then sell that investment once the company goes public, which would bring you a windfall. I don't really want to work for a startup. So I started looking into during my last or second to last semester in my MBA program, I took a class on cloud computing. And really what this was, it was like we set up an enterprise, an ERP system, which was basically a back-end inventory system for a company. And it's handled the company's not only like their inventory for their website, we created the website as well. All this was created in the cloud, which means that all this was created over the internet, which I thought was like at the time, like really, you could create a whole inventory system with whatever kind of computing technology needs your company needs. If you need a fast computer, slow computer, powerful, whatever you need, memory optimized, whatever you need, you could just basically rent somebody's computer over the internet. So what this was is like, think about this. Somebody, and I'm going to put this in a frame maybe you can understand. Somebody in a developing country with minimal assets can go to a company and say over the internet and say, oh, let me rent your computer and build a whole company, build a Netflix, build a YouTube, build a whole IT company through the internet and have this running on servers that they don't even own. And I was like, this is the future. Like when I saw this, I was like, this is the future. This is the future of computing. Everything is going to be doing this. The majority of everything is going to be doing this. And I want to be a part of it. So that started me looking up jobs in cloud computing. And then I said, well, what do I want to do in cloud computing? So I got a internship with a company, and I'm not going to say the company because I work for the company now. You can figure it out if you watched enough of my videos of what company I work for. But I got an internship with the company, and I was started as a cloud architect, right? But the company saw that, I was more interested in leadership. I'm more interested in tinkering. I'm more interested at the high level business. I have an MBA. I'm like not too much in the weeds as far as creating applications and running code and different things like that. So they asked me, did I want to do project management? And I was new to it. And I said, yeah, sure. Like I'll do that. It's a stressful job. I'm not going to say it's not, but it's really rewarding for me. And it kind of aligns with my personality and nature. So long story short, or short story long, I did my internship with the company in Northern Virginia. And they luckily, they said that we want to have you back. We're inclined to hire you. So I went back, did my last semester in San Francisco, and then moved across the country, and I currently live in the DMV area, and I work for this company. I'm going to quickly touch on the pros and cons of IT. First, the pro is I work from home. I don't have to go into the office. Lucky me, right? And that's great. I don't have to, commute. I can be, if my kids have to stay home, I can be there while, they're sick and stuff like that. Cons, the company I work for is extremely, they make decisions extremely fast. They work extremely hard, and there's not a lot of, there can't be a lot of work-life balance if you don't stay on top of it. You can end up working crazy hours or just continuously working all the time. So you have to be careful with that. Burnout is a real deal. If you're not doing things outside of work that bring you relief and fun, like meditation, going to the gym, going into nature, spending time with your friends. If you're just playing video games after work and going back to work, you're going to get burnt out rather quickly. That's the other thing that I would say was a pro and con. Is there's burnout. And then now in the tech field, which something I couldn't see is, they're reducing a lot of the head count that they took on during COVID. My battery's about to die. So that's another con, right? But who saw that? Who could have foreseen that would have happened right when it did? So, okay, so I got to wrap this up because my camera is overheating and it's going to die and my battery's dying and all this other stuff. But long story short, I enjoy what I do. I'm still figuring out if this is, something in the long term for me, or do I want to pivot as in the people management in technology. But I love working in the technological field. I work with some of the smartest people in the world, some of the coolest people in the world, and this overall was a great move for me. So if you so I have to hurry this up because my battery's about to die. My camera is my camera's telling me that it's hot and it's shutting down because I guess I've been here talking too much, running my flappy too much or whatever. So I just want to wrap it up with this. Overall, going into tech was a great experience for me. It's challenging. It causes me to grow. Every day I'm outside of my comfort zone. As far as what I'm learning, I work with some of the most intelligent people in the world, and their intelligence just baffles me, which is great because I get to work alongside, I get to work next to these people, and that helps impart their knowledge onto me. So I'm a person, I like growth, I like dynamicism. Y'all know what I mean. I like doing different things at work every day. So it's a great opportunity for me. Now, will I stay in project management long term? Who knows? Will I switch over to people management? Maybe. That's something that I'm more interested in, developing people and getting to know people, and driving objectives and pushing towards business objectives. So overall, great move for me. If you're interested in, now I'm going to leave you with some tips. If you're interested in what you want to do in technology, start at the end and plan backwards. Look at the roles that you would do in technology. Research, do you want to do, what was somebody in cybersecurity, what roles would they have? Watch YouTube videos that talks about the day in the life of these people. These people are out there doing the job, and you can get their experience. Then plan backwards, right? Plan backwards and then have an A and B plan, which means like, okay, if it's not cybersecurity, what would be the next best thing? But definitely keep cybersecurity as number one. So have an A and B and plan backwards. Okay, so I see these people, what kind of credentials do they have? Okay, I need to get some of those. All right, what school did they go to? Okay, let me research some of those. All right, how did I get into these schools? Let me research some of those. If you're in high school, what can I do right now? What can I be studying? What program language, what technology can I be exposing myself to? Whether it be AWS, Azure, whether it be AWS or Azure or Google Cloud or different things like that. What technologies can I be exposing myself to make me more valuable in the economic market? So backwards plan. Start with the end vision, plan backwards. The kind of house you want to live in, the kind of car you want to drive, the kind of relationship you want to have, the kind of family you want to have. It doesn't matter if you're sleeping in your car. It doesn't matter if you're at your mom's house, at your granny's house on the couch. Start with that end vision. Begin visualizing yourself at the top every day. Every day, do that visualization, and then work backwards, and then put in the work. Put in the work. Don't quit. Have somebody that's going to hold you accountable, because it's not easy. Going to school, especially for IT or any technical field, or maybe just school in general, it's not easy. It's keeping yourself on that focus because life happens, and staying focused and not going to the club and partying and getting high and doing all the stuff that college kids usually do. It's not easy. So that's what I want to leave you with. My camera's overheating. It's telling me I got 15 seconds before it probably blows up. But if you enjoyed this, please like, subscribe, and share to anybody who's thinking about going into tech. Peace.